Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. So today I'm going to be bringing you a tutorial and I'm really excited to be doing this in collaboration with a whole bunch of other wonderful YouTubers. Stephanie from Life Meets Steph, Reagan from Indie Beau, Caroline from Cosmetics by Caroline. We are all working together to recreate a look by either a celebrity or an influencer and show you how to get that look using non-toxic products. So be sure to check out all of their videos. I will link those down below in the description bar. Today what I'm going to be doing is I went a slight bit rogue and I'm not doing a perfect recreation of a look. I am taking a look and making it a more fall look. So Jackie Aina, who is a conventional beauty YouTuber who I've talked about on my channel before, she did a fuchsia monochromatic makeup look and I really just loved it. I loved the way it looked on her. I thought it was really beautiful, and so what I wanted to do was take that and do a more fall version. So I'm going to be doing this kind of berry monochromatic makeup look where my lips, my eyes, my cheeks, I'm all using berry shades. And so I thought it would be really fun, especially for fall, to take what had been kind of more of a summery look and transition it into fall. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, be sure to stay tuned. The first thing I'm going to start by doing is applying the California Pure Naturals Radiant CC Cream SPF 30 in the shade Fair. I don't always do this, but I am going to be spending a lot of time outside today, so I want to make sure to put on an SPF as my base. Even though this is a tinted CC cream, I still like to go on top of it with a foundation, which I will be doing today, but I'm using this as kind of like in place of like a moisturizer or base. What I like about that CC cream is it's not greasy, it's not heavy, it's super lightweight, has a pretty matte finish, which as someone with oily skin, I really appreciate. And if you wanted, you could just use this to even out your skin tone, but I like to be extra and go in with some more foundation, but it is a really great product. Because I am going to be spending some time outside, I'm going to be going ahead and prepping my face using the 14E Prime and Set powder. I have mine open because I have some extra powder in the cap from the last time I used it. I know it sounds crazy to go ahead and prime your face using a powder, but I've been doing this and loving it. So especially if you're going to be outside and you're going to be in a situation where your face is getting extra oily, this works amazingly. So what I'm just gonna do is take my Real Technique setting brush and just dust this really in my teen zone. So just across my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, a little bit around this area, and then kind of like right here. So really just focusing on the places I get the most oily. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply foundation. I'm gonna apply one of my favorite foundations, which is the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation. I have the shade Formentera. I love this. I'm just gonna dab it on my face and then blend it out using my MOTD Cosmetics Buffing Base Boss. And this is one of their new brushes and I'm really liking this. I think I might like it better than the Beauty and the Base brush. And as you can see, that foundation just glided on, applied no problem, even with that powder underneath it. So it does work really well. It seems counterintuitive, but for oily skin, it's kind of a game changer. And it's also something that Jackie Aina loves to do. That's one of the techniques I picked up from her. So it's amazing if you have oily skin, especially using that 14E powder. It works so well. Okay, so now I'm going to be going in with blush. I'm going to be using the Ritual de Fille Cream Blush in the shade Desire. And this in the pan does not look very berry. It looks kind of a browny mauve color. Especially with blush, it's important to choose a blush that actually pulls the way you want it to on your skin tone. And I've gone through and tried out a whole bunch of different blushes, trying to find my most like berry shade blush. And this is the one that actually pulls the most kind of cool toned berry pinky shade on me, so I'm going to go with this one. I do have one from Found called Berry Flush, but it pulls less berry on me than what this one does, so this is what I'm going to use for the look. Unfortunately, this blush is not vegan. I believe it does use carmine, which is not great, but Ritual de Fille is a brand that doesn't test on animals, so they are cruelty-free, just not vegan. Use whatever blush would pull berry on you, but on my skin tone, this one in Desire does. And I just like to get some of the blush on my finger and then I dab it onto my cheeks. And then I like to blend it out using this MOTD Second Skin Stipple brush. Okay, now I've got my blush on, I'm gonna go ahead and apply some under eye concealer. And today I'm going to be using the Fit Glow Beauty Conceal Plus concealer. And I, at first, was not a fan of this concealer. I will 100% say that, but I've become a fan because I figured out how to use it. I like blending it out with a damp beauty sponge. Sorry, this is my kind of rather stained and sad looking real tiny sponge. I kind of need to replace it. And then I like to go ahead and bake using the 14E setting powder, and that combination works really well for me. Otherwise, if I don't do all that, I can't get it blended out. It creases on me, but this technique works well and has actually made me like the concealer. So that is what I'm going to be using under my eyes today. Now that I look much more brightened and wide awake, we're going to pause prior to baking the concealer and apply some highlight. If you want to apply a powder highlight, I would bake the concealer and then apply the highlight. However, because I want to use a cream highlight, I'm going to apply the cream highlight and then bake, so I'm not layering cream on top of powder. And the highlight I'm going to use today is the Ritual de Fille highlight in the shade Ghostlight. And this is not a berry toned highlight because that wouldn't really work on my skin, but it does have a really pretty kind of duochrome or purpley shift to it. I've tried out a whole bunch of different highlighters with this look, but I really like using this one, so this is the one I'm going to be using today. It's a beautiful highlight, and I just like to use my finger to dab this along the top of my cheekbone. Now that I've got the highlight applied, I'm going to go ahead and bake using the 14E setting powder. While that is baking, I'm going to go ahead and conceal some acne spots on my face. I always have a few, so it's always somebody to conceal. And I am going to be using my Hint Beauty Duet Concealer. I've worn the label off of the concealer, but I use the shade Light. And this is such a full coverage concealer. It just works so well for me for concealing acne. So if you want something really heavy duty to conceal acne, I 100% recommend this concealer. And I'm just gonna go ahead and dab it onto wherever I need to conceal. I am now going to go ahead and powder my face using the Alima Pure Satin Matte Foundation, and this will just help to set the foundation in place. I know I went ahead with a powder primer. I like to lightly dust this all over my face as well. If you have really oily skin, The trick to me to getting your makeup to really last well is to make sure you are properly setting, powdering, all of that. So just go in lightly. You don't need much of this, but it really does work well. And one of the things I love about the Olema Pure Satin Matte Foundation is that it has a ton of shades. I like to apply the face powder using the MOTD Set and Go brush. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to my eyebrows. I'm actually gonna leave my bake on until we are done with the eyeshadow because we're gonna do a more intense eyeshadow look today. And so I wanna leave this on to catch any fallout that we might have. I am going to fill in my brows a little bit using my Eye of Horus brow pencil because I have a little sparse spot over here. And then we are going to try out together the new Juice Beauty brow gel, and I have the shade medium because I actually ran out of my 100% pure green tea fiber brow. Yes, I know. I don't know exactly how that happened, but I ran out. And shout out to Ulta, my local Ulta, for carrying Juice Beauty and for carrying their new brow gel. I'd been wanting to try it out anyway, so I was like, well, that'll be a great replacement, and I can actually go and get it in person. So yeah, if you're curious about this, check your local Ulta because they might actually have it. But first, I'll use this Eye of Horus brow pencil. Now I'm gonna go on with this brow gel. I've heard good things about it. Let's see what we think. I really like that. It gave my brows like a super feathery look. I don't think I actually needed to fill them in prior to using this brow gel. I'll be curious to try this out some more, but so far so good. Obviously, I'll want to see how it does holding my brows in place. We're gonna move on to the eyeshadow look, and I'm first gonna start by saying I'm going to use a number of eyeshadows from a number of different palettes, from a number of different places to get this look. And don't think at all that you need these different palettes to get this look. Use eyeshadows that you have, work with what you've got, and you can create this look. Because I have all these options in front of me, I'm going to go ahead and use them because I really enjoyed the look I was able to get using all these different eyeshadows, but you definitely do not need them. So just keep that in mind. So first, as always, I'm gonna go ahead with start with an eye primer. I've been reaching for my Silk Naturals Stick 'em eyeshadow primer recently, so this is the one I'm gonna apply on my eyelids today. And I really like this, especially when I'm using more metallic shades because it really does help to intensify them. And it also sticks everything down to my eyelid really well, which because I have hooded eyelids and I have oily skin, my eyeshadow tends to really walk around. So what I like to do is I like to apply this eye primer, give it a minute to get kind of tacky, and then I will go ahead and start applying eyeshadow. And while that's getting tacky, I'm gonna talk about the first eyeshadow we are gonna go in with. And this one is from the Beauty Counter Romantic palette. And this is going to be the shade Dusk over here. And we're gonna apply that kind of in the inner 2/3 of the eyelid. I'm going to apply it just using my finger and pat it directly onto my eyelid. The next shade I'm going to be reaching for is a single eyeshadow, and this is from Mother Bear's Handmade. It is this beautiful shade Garnet. And I realized when I was playing around and creating this eye look that Garnet is like the deeper cousin of Dusk, which I put on my eyelid already. So what I'm going to do is take Garnet and apply it on the outer third of my eye, and this is just going to deepen up the eye look, give some dimension to my eyes, and I just love this shade. But what's kind of impressive about this is the shade Garnet is actually more metallic and more shimmery than Dusk. So it's actually a little bit like more intense because the Mother Bear's Handmade formula is amazing. If you haven't tried it, you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and just apply this to my eyelid, also using my finger. Now I'm going to take this shade from Mother Bear's Handmade in the shade cream and apply this in my crease. This is a shade that's quite close to my skin tone, and I really recommend using a shade that is close to your skin tone in your crease before applying any like color shade in your crease, because this really helps you to blend evenly and get things looking really flawless in your crease. So if you're having issues with blending, this is my secret to getting a blended crease. And I like using the MOTD Miss Shady Lady brush to apply the shade. And here is where we're going to reach for yet another palette. And I'm going to reach into the Aether Beauty Rose Quartz eye palette and use this shade right here. This kind of purpley shade right here in my crease. It is similar, if you're looking for a dupe for the shade, it is quite similar to Root Cabernet. The Root Cabernet is a smidge darker, which is why I'm going to go for this shade and not Root Cabernet, but Root Cabernet is very similar. And I'm just going to apply this shade in my crease using my MOTD Blending Bestie brush. Now that we've got our crease shade applied, I'm going to go ahead and remove the bake under our eyes. So I'm going to do that using the Real Technique setting brush. And I usually don't like this shade, but it does work very well for this look. So I'm going to take the Beauty Counter Romantic Eyeshadow Palette and use the highlight shade right here in the shade Cameo and apply it to my inner corner and under my brow bone. I normally don't like that shade because it pulls so pink, but because we are sticking with this very kind of monochromatic look, it does work very well. And then to finish off this look, I am going to line under my lower lash line using this shade once again from the Aether Beauty Rose Quartz palette. And then of course for some mascara, I'm going to be applying the Honest Beauty mascara. This is kind of one of my favorite mascaras. I've really fallen in love with it. If you haven't tried it, definitely check it out. I'm gonna jump off camera to do this and I'll be back in just a second. I always love how that mascara really ties together this eye look. And finally, I am going to be applying my lipstick. And today I'm going to be using a combination of the Red Apple lip liner and Barely Pink. I'm gonna use that to line my lips. And then I'm going to be applying one of my favorite lipsticks of all time, which is Cloven Howl Uptown, which really does complement the shades in this eye look and on our cheeks and all of that extremely well. This is the completed look. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial, this recreation of the fuchsia monochromatic makeup look by Jackie Aina, and making it kind of more fall, turning it into a berry monochromatic makeup look. And if you enjoyed seeing this makeup look, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also be sure to check out all of the other wonderful women who also participated in this kind of video compilation. I will link all of their videos down below, and also check out my Instagram. I have lots of fun content on there. My handle is at naturallybeautifulgirl. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!